Thomas Tuchel, he was so annoyed at the linesman, and how I interpreted, that's a very hard word for a Norwegian, but how I understood Tuchel's theory was that the linesman was more or less, it was waiting for the bus to tell him if it was offside or not. You remember? You understand?
Mm-hmm,
1 second later, he went up. And I first realized that Thomas Tuchel was talking about that, and I followed that. Next offside, and he just looked at the linesman, and then he looked at the bench, and he said, "You see what I mean?" So among the footballers now and the coaches, there is a thing to follow up what you, Shaka, is saying. That is, we kind of so trust VAR and everything now that when they started to give the referees more authority, we taken authority away from them. And if that is the case, that the linesman waiting for someone in a bus saying yes or no or whatever, and hopefully they say that about the decision, by the way, then we are on a false way of using VAR, I think.
Well, that's unfair on the linesman. You can't have it always. You're telling them, if it's close, not to put your flag up, so then you can't be giving them stick for not putting the flag up. And that's why we've got VAR.
No, but
now it then becomes a decision of how long. And I don't think any reasonable football person would suggest there was a problem if they had disallowed that goal.
Sure.
Because the fact is he was offside, and had the referee or the linesman put his flag up, they wouldn't have scored the goal. We all know that. So why is that a problem?
How I interpret it. You tell the linesman, keep your flag down if it's close. If it ends up in the back of the net, he's going to raise his flag or whatever just to say, well, I think it's offside, but VAR are going to intervene anyway, right? It ends up in the back of the net. But we still want officials to officiate the game. So if it's close and then the cross is blocked in this case and it becomes a different phase of play, I think he's fully entitled to raise his flag.
But then if the linesman thinks he's onside, then he's got it wrong. Right. So that's why you've got VAR in the first place.
But then VAR doesn't intervene in that second. If he makes a mistake, we live by it. I have no problem with it. I'm just saying we are so used to...
So if this is a World Cup final, if this is a World Cup final, you're going to live
used to VAR being the overreaching voice around every decision that our officials aren't officiating
VAR
anymore.
Is great and it's not perfect, and there'll always be little foibles. But let's be honest, Shaka, if this is the last minute of a World Cup final, you're happy for it to come down to a bad decision by a linesman?
I'm happy from Switzerland. I'm delighted.
Yeah, you can't see that.
Jules, I imagine this is the talk of London, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. All TV, radio, newspapers today, it's all they talk about. To be fair, watching the game, I thought that maybe the VAR people took a 5-minute break to go out for a cigarette or something. They did. They've just missed it. They thought this is a meaningless friendly. We don't care. It's going to make the game more interesting if the goal stands. More seriously, though, you see the referee after the goal was scored, clearly waiting to be told, "Oh, you can go on and England can kick off again." So they must have clearly thought about it and then maybe thought, yeah, it's not the same phase. Although I agree with Stevie, the goal should have been disallowed, really.
England are always lucky with linesmen at Wembley. That's how they won the World Cup. I mean, the guy from Azerbaijan.
That's true. That's very true.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.